Greenville, South Carolina is not for everybody. So in this video, we're gonna cover these 7 things that as a Greenville resident, you're gonna have to deal with once you move here. And if any of these on the list are gonna be non-negotiables for you, then of course you probably shouldn't move here. And be sure to stick around until the end because the first thing that I mentioned isn't any less important than the last thing that I mentioned. Let's do it. As always, my friends, my name is Sawyer, your friend in real estate here in the upstate of South Carolina. And it's our goal with this channel that we are your #1 resource for all the things that you need to know about moving to our awesome area. We are dedicated to providing you the highest quality videos, the most practical, the most reliable, and the most relevant information that you need to know regarding your move. So if you like this information, do me a favor, like our video and subscribe to the channel. We would love to have you follow along for future videos. And when you finally decide to move here, I would love to be the realtor that you choose to work with. So first on the list is pollen and allergies. So apparently Greenville is one of the worst places to live if you have, say, hay fever or just in general, severe allergies. We have a lot of trees, a lot of grass, and while that certainly has its benefits, it definitely has its negatives for folks who suffer from bad allergies. I have several friends who are constantly on Claritin and other medicine throughout the spring season because of the pollen and because of their allergies that flare up. So if it's a big consideration for you, then certainly do more research on that topic, but that might be a big negative for you in your decision to relocate. Now here in the South, and specifically South Carolina and specifically Greenville, we're gonna have hot, humid summers. Average temperature in the summertime is gonna be about 90 degrees during the day. And our humidity range is gonna be anywhere from 50 to 70% humidity. Now my folks relocating from Florida are gonna laugh at those numbers because they deal with 80 to 100% humidity and at least 90 degrees every day during the summer. But my folks from the Northeast or the Midwest might shiver a little bit at that because they're not used to the humidity. They're not used to the extreme heat. Well, it only lasts a couple months. Now it's certainly humid throughout most of the year, but the heat generally gets pretty hot in, say, mid to late June and then starts to subside around the 1st through middle of September. Now a benefit to those warm summers is that we also have pretty mild winters. So my folks comparatively who are moving from the Northeast or the Midwest, they suffer from severe cold in the wintertime, whereas we average about 50 degrees here in Greenville. So third on the list is growing traffic concerns and congestion. So of course your main corridors like Wade Hampton Boulevard, like Main Street, like Woodruff Road, like Fairview Road, all of those places, especially at rush hour, have gotten increasingly congested in the past 6 years since I've lived here. Now, what used to take me maybe 20 minutes to span Woodruff Road now will take me about 30 minutes. So it's all relative. I know my folks coming from larger cities are gonna laugh, but you know us Southerners do not like our traffic and we don't like when things change. So as this traffic has gotten a little bit more congested, we've heard a lot more people complain about it, but in the grand scheme of things, it hasn't got that much worse, except around rush hour in these major corridors. Now, one thing to think about would be that out in the county, there are a lot of 2-lane roads, there's a lot of stoplights, and there's a lot of, say, 4-way stop signs. So along those 4-way stop signs at intersections, those places can get backed up throughout the day, or they have gotten a little bit more busy in the last 6 years. However, if you're coming from that major, dense, populated area, it's gonna be a breeze for you. So next on the list, let's talk about real estate prices here in our area. So across the country, everyone knows it. Over the last 5 years, real estate prices have significantly increased, much due to pent-up demand because builders haven't been building since, say, 2011. And COVID, people got a lot more clarity on where they wanted to live. A lot more people could work remotely. So people stopped living where they had to because of work and started living where they wanted to because they could go and have a more flexible work schedule. Now, the days, in my opinion, here in Greenville of 10 to 20% appreciation year over year for real estate, that's over. What we're seeing now is 6% or so last year in 2023, and year to date this year we're at about 4.2% appreciation in prices. I think that trend's going to continue. That's a healthy amount of appreciation year over year. So by virtue of being in an awesome place that is attracting a lot of people, Greenville's real estate prices have seen an increase in value. However, I think we are at the point where it's going to be sustainable in that 3 to 6% appreciation year over year moving forward. Now, next up on the list is one of the first things that I ever mentioned in one of my first YouTube videos, and that's that people are going to be nice to you. So here in Greenville and generally in the South, people are going to speak to you. People are going to ask you how you're doing. They're going to be genuinely interested in your well-being. And if you can't handle that, then don't move to Greenville. So next up on the list, let's talk about roads, infrastructure, and transportation. So if you are from a place that charges a lot of money for real estate taxes, then you're probably used to really great roads, a really smooth ride to and from work, to the mall on the weekends, to the restaurants in the evenings. Well, here in South Carolina, here in Greenville County, our property taxes are not as high. Our tax base is lower. We don't have as good of roads as y'all have. Now, it'll take some getting used to, and my clients have mentioned it to me who are from the Chicago suburbs or the suburbs of major cities in the Northeast or even Florida, that, God, your roads are really bad down here. Well, the county is working on improving these roads. Woodruff Road just got repaved and it's a joy to ride on now. Before, not so much. And because of these road problems that Greenville County will tend to have, our car insurance is a little bit more than what you're probably used to. So car insurance on average is going to be $900 to $1,200 a year. So not astronomical, but my clients have given me feedback that it is a little bit higher than what they're used to paying in other parts of the country. Now, another thing to note is Greenville's public transport system isn't really the best. You know, we don't have a train system, we don't have a tram system, we don't have a very extensive bus system. We do have a number of buses that have multiple pickup spots throughout the city. But what people are used to in other places, it's not going to be that here in Greenville. And last but not least on our list is don't come to Greenville if you don't want to be a part of a growing and thriving young city. The city of Greenville, the county of Greenville, is constantly announcing new development projects that are going to increase the vibrance and the overall health of this community. So if you're wanting to move to a place that has a lot of personal liberty, that has a low cost of living, that has nice people, that has a lot of good stuff going for it, especially with its robust economy, then come and look at Greenville. Come and visit Greenville, come and do my tour, come and meet with me at my office. I would love to sit down with you and put together a timeline on getting you to Greenville. So hopefully this information was helpful. If you're thinking about moving to Greenville, I would love to chat with you about what your relocation to our area could look like in the next 6 weeks or 6 months. So do me a favor, shoot me an email at my email below, or shoot me a text at my cell phone number below. I would love to chat with you about what your journey to Greenville could look like. Thank you. Well, this video is going to be a about Greenville County, the upstate of South Carolina. Great thing to do and easily in the evening. I'm a local real estate expert here in the area. All time, you know, right behind me is a really cool place called Freight Yard.